Yo, mic check, 1 2 1 2. What's going on with y'all, man? What's happening? How's it going? If you've been rocking with me, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. Today, in the light of the recent news of the re-release of Avengers Endgame, which is a clear cash grab to get them that top spot above Avatar, or whatever it is that has the top spot right now, but you know what, I'm all for it. I like Endgame more than Avatar, so hey, they worked hard for that money, let's give it to them. But if you didn't hear, they're re-releasing that movie in theaters, they believe this weekend coming up, and it's going to have 6 additional minutes of footage. Now, as I understand it, the 6 additional minutes of footage are really going to be more in-credit scene type deals. All right, the bulk of the movie, we're not getting anything new that's going to change the flow of the movie that we've already seen. All right, so you're not going to see any new reviews come out for this, hopefully, but there's definitely going to be a lot of talk about those scenes when they hit. And we'll be right here talking about it as soon as that comes out. So I didn't want to go to the theater, but now it sounds like I might have to go to the theater. But that's okay. Also, if you haven't heard, well, I'm sure you have, X-Men's done, or Fox is done with X-Men at the very least. Disney finally acquired that property, so now the future movies, with the exception being maybe New Mutants. I actually don't know anything about the release of that movie and how that's going to happen, if they're even still doing it. It looked badass. I'm all for X-Men horror film with Arya Stark, all right? The superior Stark sister. All right, she's definitely going to lead that squad to glorious victory if that movie came out, I would think. It looked good from what we saw, but who knows? Whatever. Not that it matters. The movie is inconsequential in terms of the greater X-Men landscape as we move forward into the next phase of these movies and comics. I mean, if you want to be a purist about it, the comics are also getting a little bit of a reboot coming up here too, so clean slate. Clean slate. That being said, 6 extra minutes. A lot of people have been postulating about what these extra minutes might be. A lot of people have been saying, man, I think they're going to take this time to introduce Fantastic Four. They're going to flash over to something, some scene. Fantastic Four are going to be there, and that's how they're going to get their start to the universe. Or, we're going to introduce the X-Men. They're going to show some mutants somewhere doing something and let you know that the X-Men were in the universe. Now, they've acquired both of those properties at this point. We have to get them in there somehow. Why not? While people are you're getting ready to take a break on these movies for a minute, we got Spider-Man coming out to round us out for the year in less than a month here now. Why not give some people something to chew on? Right? Nobody knows anything about the Eternals. Your casual, your normie's not going to know anything about who or what the Eternals are. All right, so there's not going to be a whole lot of hype for that. Don't nobody care about this Black Widow movie. Nobody asked for that. All right, Scarlett Johansson, you do your thing. She was good in Endgame, but that wasn't enough to make me care about her character enough to watch a whole ass prequel movie, because at the end of the day, the prequel has no weight to it because we already know what happens. Maybe they'll introduce something that maybe a box or something she found in the past and hid somewhere, and they cut to the current day and they're opening the box and they're using the box, and that advances the plot. But really, we wouldn't have even needed to know the backstory, a whole feature-length backstory behind the MacGuffin that they're going to introduce to tie this movie together. And that's the only way it's going to carry any weight, is if they tie it to some type of present-day thing with some type of, not time travel, but, I put something here so we can use it at some point in time, and now the time is here type of deal. We've seen it before. So, I might go see it in the theaters. I might have to wait for that one to come out on bootleg or something. I don't know if I want to. I'm just not excited for it. I'm just not. I've never been that excited about her character. So, yeah. If you're looking at what the movie, then Guardians 3. Once James Gunn gets done cutting up Suicide Squad 2 and saving the DC Universe, he'll be back to continue his great, excellent work on the Marvel Universe via Guardians of the Galaxy. Will Fat Thor be in Guardians of the Galaxy? I don't know. Maybe he'll just be regular Thor. Maybe he won't be there at all. Will they ever find Gamora? These are the questions, because you're giving people characters they care about and anticipation. So I would say probably Guardians 3 arguably is going to be the most anticipated upcoming film that hasn't had a release date announced yet. Just base level, based on all of those things. So if we're going to add some extra footage, it would be really dope if we got a little teaser for introducing some new characters into the universe. And I'm not talking, we introduce the Spider-Verse and Venom comes in. No, I'm talking about these new properties. Get us hype. Let us know that you heard, you're listening, and you're getting it together. You're getting it ready. So last night, I was talking with a couple of my other buddies, kind of talking about what our predictions were on what those extra 6 minutes might just be. We talked about character intros, pretty much the usual. But as we got to talking, I snowballed a little bit, but then I gained some traction on something. I want to run this by you guys. I don't know if they're gonna do it, but it'd be pretty cool. All right. Now here's my idea on how they introduced the mutants, the X-Men, into the Marvel Cinematic Universe via an end credit scene from these extra 6 minutes for Endgame re-release. Right? Get to the end of the movie, everybody's in the theater, edge of their seats waiting for the new end credit scene that wasn't there last time. You know, everybody already seen Endgame the movie, they were just there having a good time. Now everyone is on the edge of their seats in anticipation for some new footage. We're hungry for it, right? So you cut to Captain Marvel eating some shawarma in the city. Just Carol by herself eating some shawarma in New York. And I know, wait, stop before you get mad. Let me finish, y'all. All right, you cut to Captain Marvel eating some shawarma. Why? Because they've done the shawarma gag before in previous Avengers movies, you know, and they tied it back. It's a little inside joke for the team. And then you get Captain Marvel as a little troll. She's never been there. Maybe she makes a comment about, oh, it's pretty good, you know, blah blah blah. Whatever. Just a little joke in there. You know, at this point, people are gonna look up. They're gonna be half the theater's gonna laugh, chuckle, you know, and the other half theater's gonna be hella pissed. They're gonna see Captain Marvel. They're gonna be mad. They're like, shawarma? Are you kidding me? You know, you linger on that for like not very long, maybe like 20 seconds. You know, a little bit longer than it should. So it seems like, you know, it might be a waste of time. But this is just a troll, people. This is just a troll for the lulz, right? Now, here's how we're gonna go. We're gonna the shawarma restaurant is gonna be important to the mythos, right? So Captain Marvel's there. She's getting ready to leave. You know, she's tipping the waiter or whatever. And a girl or somebody, a hooded figure, walks past her in the green hood. Walks past her, bumps into her while she's walking by. You know, there's brief skin contact from arm to arm. You know, and Carol's kind of shocked. You know, there's a little something happened. You know, the hooded figure keeps moving. You know, we don't see the face just yet. But Carol notices something was strange when she touched this person. She felt a little uneasy, a little disoriented even. So she decides, you know, to maybe go follow this person, see what's going on. She starts following her, you know, maybe asking her to stop, calling out after, hey, you know, slow down. I just want to talk to you for a second, blah, blah. The whole hooded green figure, you know, kind of walks a little bit faster and eventually breaks off, runs away, right? So now Carol's chasing her down. She's not, you know, going to just cheat and Captain Marvel fly over to this. All right, she's gonna chase her down, you know, kind of street running, eventually leading to an alleyway or something, and she's cornered. The green figure's cornered. So before she turns around, Carol goes in to grab her, and the hooded person, grabs Carol's hand. You know, once again, skin to skin contact, and Carol pulls back. You know, again, she feels this feeling. She feels a little bit drained this time. You know, a little disoriented. She's like, "What? Who are you? What's going on?" The hooded figure kind of lunges at Carol now. And Carol, not knowing if this is a metahuman, she'd use her full power. You know, so she's just trying to fend her off. She's super strong, so of course she'd be able to just flick her wrist and destroy this person. But, you know, she's trying to turn over a new leaf and not just murder people in the streets. These aren't the Skrull invasions. You know, she's a little bit more responsible now. Let's give her that character development. You know, she's a little bit more responsible in how she uses her powers. Her emotions are a little bit more controlled now. So they get in a tussle, all right? And as they're in this tussle, Carol's, you know, they're got arms are grabbing each other and this, that, and the other. No, remember, again, skin contact. As this is all happening, Carol's starting to feel a little bit woozy, a little bit uneasy, you know, more so than she had before. And she feels the hooded figures now really resisting more so than usual. It's almost like they're getting stronger. So eventually, you know, Carol throws her back off of her, and she decides, okay, now I'm going to get into this fight. So she goes, she attacks. She kind of flies at her. None use the Quasar bolts just yet. The person dodges out of the way. Carol punches a wall, you know, concrete's broken. You know, now we're getting her to see her use her strengths. Now it's a critical moment, right? So she goes to attack the figure again, and the figure this time, instead of dodging out of the way, goes for a counterattack and actually punches Carol in the gut, knocks her back a little ways. And she's like, whoa, how am I, Captain Marvel, the great hope of the Marvel Universe, being pushed back by a red shirt? So she goes in again. Now she's a little bit more serious, fires off one of those plasma bolts, hits the hooded figure, knocks him down, right? Hooded figure's just disoriented. You know, hood's still up. We still can't see the face. The face is silhouetted. We see kind of the bottom of the face. Now we know by this point that it's someone with some long hair, a little bit of lipstick, and there is just a long brown hair and a little white streak. You notice a little bit of white tuft in the hair. And if y'all know, I think y'all know where I'm going with this. Okay, so hooded figure turns around. We still haven't seen the full face, and actually, shoots a plasma bolt back at Carol. Now she's totally off. Hooded Figure lunges at her, grabs her again. They're wrestling. Carol's doing her best to put her off, but it's just too much. The Hooded Figure's too strong. She's feeling more and more drained until eventually she collapses. She's on the ground. She's not completely unconscious. And she's like, "Who are you?" Hooded Figure stands over her, pulls the hood down, and we see the face. And she says, she says something cryptic. I don't know. I'm not writing the dialogue yet, but something cryptic here. And then goes in and grabs Carol's face and drains her completely. And she just passes out. So at this point, now we see the girl walk out, hood's down, we see her face is fully revealed, and she leaves Carol there, unconscious, and let's say during their fight in the alley, they broke through one of the walls because they're super strong, so they're in some kind of, factory room, big open area. Carol's just left there. There's debris around, but no one's there to see her. She's gone. She's passed out. And the green hooded figure goes outside through the hole in the wall and gets a phone call. She picks up the phone. "Anna Marie, are you all right?" And she says, "Yeah, I am all right. I ran into a little bit of trouble, but I think I'll be fine. More than fine, even. I'm feeling better than I have in a long, long while." And at this point, she kind of flies away slowly. She's lifting up. She's completely, it seems, taken on the power of Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. She's displayed the physical strength. She can fly. She has the plasma bolts. And then the voice on the phone, says something else. Maybe something along the lines of, "All right, we'll get back to base immediately. We don't want you going rogue on us." And then Anna Marie kind of scoffs. She's like, "All right, I'm on my way back. Don't worry." And then she thinks there's click. Rogue. Not bad. She flies off. Now, all of this takes place over the course of those 6 minutes, right? You can get some quality. It's long enough for an actual scene. So I figure, why not get some mileage out of the scene? Okay, so we've introduced the character of Rogue in the Marvel Universe. Now, for those of you who don't know who Rogue is, Rogue actually appeared in the original the 3 X-Men movies, the original trilogy. She was the girl that ended up having that tuft of white hair in the first movie after Magneto used her to take on his powers to run that machine to turn everybody into mutants. It was super convoluted, didn't really make any sense, but that's who she is, and she was there throughout the movies. In the third movie, she was the girl that was trying to get the cure because her power is that she steals your abilities, mutant or otherwise. That's the cool part about Rogue, by physical contact. It's not just your abilities, it's your memories, your personality to a degree, just your essence in general. She can siphon off. So in the comics then, Rogue, she actually shows up. Eventually, she's a villain for the X-Men to start. And this is critical because we're not going to need to introduce a grandiose villain or anything like that necessarily for the X-Men to start off with. I think the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants could serve as a good foil for them. It could give us an introduction to a lot of different mutant abilities and how they function in the universe, but also it gives us Rogue. And when Rogue was in the Brotherhood, she did drain Carol of all of her power, left her in a coma for a long time, and she basically had the power of Captain Marvel to a degree. She couldn't go binary or anything like that, but she was, super strong, super fast, flight, and vulnerability. Didn't have energy projection. But for the sake of that battle, she did for a little while. When we see her again later on, she's not going to have that. That'll fade. But because she had contact with Carol for so long, she actually ended up keeping her powers permanently, as opposed to usually when they're only temporary. So this does two things, right? It sets up Rogue. It gives us mutants in the Marvel Universe. There's still intrigue surrounding it, right? We don't know exactly how long they've been there, how long people have known about them. We'll get to that later. I don't want to use, people have said Wolverine 1,000 times. I don't want to see Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman did Logan. That was the best send-off a comic book character is ever going to get. Let the man rest. I don't want it. And I don't want to get, some recycled character we've already seen before that's already been a villain, like Magneto. I don't need a great Magneto reveal. Not yet. I'd be fine with if he showed up in the first movie alongside the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants that I'm pitching here, but I don't think we should introduce it like that. I think we can go Rogue. All right? It serves the what appears to be mandate of having some girl power. All right. Again, I'm fine with it. It just seems as late. You'll have to admit that it's been kind of ham-fisted. This makes it not ham-fisted. All right. So you can get away with it. People can't complain. Right. You can turn and say, hey, look, this is actually, not only is it canon and it comes from the source material, but it also features women. So no one can get mad if you're looking for some Teflon for that. There you go. You're welcome. All right. Not only that, it sets up Captain Marvel for her second movie. One of the main problems with a character like Captain Marvel, she's so powerful, it's hard to write a character with problems that you can believe that they wouldn't actually just be able to solve with a flick of their wrist. All right, it's the Superman syndrome. And her movie, while she didn't gain God tier abilities until, the last act there, they didn't really do anything to develop her personality either. So she got a double whammy. Now, we don't care about the conflict because there's no conflict to this character. And we don't care about the character because she has no character to care about. You feel me? So, putting her in the coma, she would wake up, at the start of her next movie, but she would be depowered. This gives us a reason to momentarily depower her so we can tell a story with a conflict you can believe in. It's a crutch, maybe, a writer's tool, I would say more, and it works because it fits in with the canon of other characters we're introducing. Right, that sets her up. Now she can have a movie where, let's say she gets her powers back maybe halfway through the movie, so we can have her actually get out there. My thing with Captain Marvel, what I want to see is I want to see her out in the cosmic landscape. All right, I don't believe that she would face any problem on Earth that she couldn't just completely destroy herself. She is just that powerful. Her nature is more cosmic anyway because of how she got her powers and her whole connection with the Krees and the Skrulls and so on. So I want to see her in some more cosmic stories. So set her up at the beginning of Captain Marvel 2. She's struggling. She's just trying to find herself. Again, that kind of thing. She doesn't have her powers back. Maybe she runs into some trouble on Earth. She has to mix it up there for a little while. Her powers end up coming back to her over time or what have you. They get kickstarted. And then she finishes the movie somewhere off planet in space handling some type of space extravaganza. Something that would be worthy of her power. I was mad at her in Endgame when she was like, well, I gotta go save all these other planets because blah, 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 and I'm Captain Marvel and I can do it all. But she makes a good point, and she would have the ability to go and help these other planets by herself way more. She can do it. She has the ability to. So I'm not mad at her for that. I just want them to expand on that. All right, give me a problem that's insurmountable to anyone except for Captain Marvel, and then I'll believe you. Give me a character I can get behind. So this sets it up, and it gives catharsis, like when she got punched by Thanos with the Power Stone, that felt good, for her to meet some adversity. So this is going to feel good for her to meet the adversity. Even if you like the character, you got to admit, all right, with no type of conflict or challenges, that's just boring. And that could be said about any character. Like I said, Superman theory or Superman syndrome came from him first. So that's not a male-female thing, nothing like that. It's just she's boring right now. So let's crank her up. So there you go. That's how you get your little teaser for the X-Men. Use a character that's not obscure, but someone who does end up becoming an X-Man. So we kind of start off the X-Men introductions with what is their antagonist as opposed to starting off with the main cast, because I'd imagine with the main cast they're going to want to go through and do some serious casting and all that to make sure that we have the right hype around the core people that they're going to introduce. I would like to see, honestly, an incarnation of the team that's not just the original members, but we'll see what they do. I guess they gotta make that decision when they get there, but I just like this idea of getting introduced to an antagonist to bring mutants in. Also give something, that little shawarma joke at the beginning, little troll to start people, because the internet's gonna blow up. You're like, oh, shawarma, but then you're gonna have everyone's attention. Emotions are gonna be heightened either way when that shawarma comes on. Either you're gonna be pissed or you're gonna be dying in the seat. You know what I mean? So either way, you're gonna be engaged at the end of the movie. And as soon as that scene switches up, the movie theater is gonna go silent. It's gonna be crazy. It will be crazy. The effect. I would just like to record the effect of like the outrage, the reaction for the initial thing, and then just the silence because the scene got super serious and people started realizing what was going on. So those are my thoughts. That was just off the dome. Thought I'd get it on wax straight out with y'all. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Well, who would you want to see as the first mutant that they introduce? All right. Do you think that mutants should come over via an alternate universe, multiverse theory, kind of like they're doing with Mysterio and that's Far From Home? Do you think it's something that they were just hiding this whole time? What do you think? I would rather them have been there than come over, only because you would have there's justification for it. The X-Men, the mutants, always a lot of times handle their problems in-house. I don't like the idea of just, we have this whole other superhero team coming over from another multiverse, and what? You have to be able to introduce a lot of them because there's so many mutants. With such a diverse group of them, especially, it'd be easier just to say that they were there. Maybe their powers got unlocked by the snap. Maybe they've been hidden because they're full of Omega level telepaths that could totally hide their existence from the world. Maybe Nick Fury knew about them. I mean, they totally retcon and put Captain Marvel in there, and he knew about her the whole time. So maybe Nick Fury knew about the X-Men. Shoot, you can have the Nick Fury seems to be the thread that connects all this together anyway. So, but those are my thoughts. Hey, another thing, if you were going to introduce the Fantastic Four in there, how do you think you'd do that? Depending on your reaction to this, I might put something up about the Fantastic Four. I got some ideas, but y'all know how I feel about the X-Men, so they had to come first. Anyway, if you've been here this long, I appreciate you. Like I said, drop a comment. This is a conversation. I want to hear what y'all got to say. Let's nerd out together. If you like what I had to say, like it, let me know, and especially send it to your friends. Spin this around. Let's get this going. Let's get this buzz going. But all right, y'all. Appreciate you rocking with me, and as always, peace.